I swear, people just want to have like bad spirits, bad attitudes for no reason. And I'm so over it with people's attitudes. Oh my goodness. I don't know why it's so hard for people to admit when they are wrong and to just apologize, or at least humble yourself a little bit. And I see that so often, and I don't understand what is so hard about that, about admitting that one is wrong. So for example, I just came from dropping off the food for my dog for boarding. You gonna let me in? Okay, thank you. For boarding, and I go past this lady who is on the phone. I don't know what she's doing. And I go in. Oh, wait, let me get it. Get myself in. Thank you. All right. And then she's like, can you not read the sign? I can read just fine. I even write books. You know, and I'm like, yes, I can read it just fine. And I know what it says. It says only one family dog per whatever that can be there, you know. But I'm not bringing a dog in. I'm just bringing food, something that she does not know. And then she's like, well, there's already a dog there. I was like, great, I don't have a dog. And I see that she's getting all huffy about it. And I go inside. I was like, can I come in to the owners of the kennel? And they're like, yeah, come in. And I was like, and I look at the lady. I was like, I can come in. And then she gets really agitated over this. And I don't know why she's trying so hard to check me as opposed to check herself. And then she goes in there, and I'm just trying to drop off my dog's food, who is already in there. And she's like, well, I'm here first, and what about I go in? And I'm like, go ahead, lady, you know, go. I'm in no rush either, you know. And then she starts huffing and puffing, and it was like, well, ma'am, we already have your dog here. And instead of apologizing for the piss poor attitude that she displayed, not just to me, but to the people that work there, she grabs her dog and in all her huffy and puffiness, even forgets to pay her bill, and then they have to go get her to pay the bill. And once again, as opposed to apologizing like the grown-ass lady that she is, she goes about as if that didn't happen. And that's what like fucking pisses me off about people. It's like, man, like you cannot be in your 50s and 60s and still not be that unself-aware that you don't have the fucking galls to admit when you're wrong. It fucking pisses me off. It really does. And I don't understand why people like continue on about their lives like that. Like, you know, it's okay to have this chip on your shoulder. It's okay to like treat other people like shit when you're the one in the wrong. I don't get it. I don't get how they can live like that, sleep like that, and do it all over again. Just be wrong and be okay with being wrong. It's like, fuck. Now, this interaction could have gone way better, especially after the lady noticed that her dog was the dog that was inside waiting for her, and she could have just stepped into the building. If she would have seen me approach, as opposed to just assuming that I am there to disobey the very important rules, she could have just asked. That's one way she could have done this. Excuse me, I noticed that you're going in. It says on the sign that only one dog per family can go in. And just that would have prompted me to say, well, lady or ma'am, which is what I usually say, I'm just dropping off my dog's food. My dog is already in the kennel and I'm just doing the food, so I don't have another dog with me. She could have asked that, right? And when she would have found out that it was really her mistake or her misstep or whatever, right? All she could have said is like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to have assumed that, you were just going in there or you were te estaba colando, you were gonna step in front of me and take my turn or whatnot. I'm sorry." Or it could have just been a simple, "I'm sorry." That works too. And I would have probably said, "It's all right. Hope you have a better day." Uh, Anything like that would have made this interaction a whole lot better, you know, not just for her, but for everyone there. Because sometimes what people don't realize is that, yes, you're feeling all these things, but you're not the only one feeling all these things. Everyone around you is wrapped in their own situations, their own emotions. So, like, assuming these things and like being angry with these assumptions, writing a whole story about somebody that you don't know in your head, and then getting into your feelings about this fictionalized story that you just made up about somebody you don't know, that's wild to me. That is like wild to me. And then to find out in that same moment that you're wrong and not saying anything about it, to get that shit off your chest and like to clean your soul off of it. I don't like, man, karma is real. Like I would have blessed myself. I would have been like, "You know what? I'm sorry. That was really shitty of me," or something like that. You know what I'm saying? "I'm sorry." Um but something to redeem myself, because you may find yourself being at the other end of what you just did. And then you really gonna be feeling what you just made somebody else feel. Because I'm a big believer that it's a circular thing here, life. You know, that's all it is. So that's why we need to work on being aware of giving what we take, and of, God, kids learn this in pre-K. And I see some adults and I'm like, "Man, did you skip pre-K? Did you skip your whole elementary school? What happened?" Biggest thing is just, shit, treat others the way you would want to be treated. It's so simple. I don't get why we get that so wrong so many times. And it's like people get so caught up on abiding by the rules and feeling as if they're holier than thou because they follow these rules, and they let go of all the common sense and of all the gray areas within that rule, and how that rule doesn't pertain to certain situations, but they just get caught up on the black and white and don't see anything else. And then they look down on those people that are able to see the gray in certain things. And that's what kills me. Because I'm a big believer that rules and laws are there for a reason for the most part. But I'm also a big believer in creativity and throwing in the common sense factor in these things. Because sometimes the rules were made for nefarious reasons. And sometimes the rules were made at a time where that shit worked, but now we looking at it in this time and that shit don't work no more. And we got to be self-aware enough to understand that and to give people grace and give ourselves grace as well when we see how things are different now. And it just, I think it's like it's this thing where people get so caught up on I'm better than you because I abide by the black and white of the laws and the rules. And therefore, because I am better than you, I can talk to you like you're a piece of shit. And that is so wrong. Because even though you follow the rules, now you're a piece of shit yourself because you're treating somebody else like it. And when you're treating somebody else like it, that means that shit is in you. If you calling me a piece of shit, that means you're a piece of shit. And I just wish people will understand the whole cyclical thing of the world. You can only give what's in you. And if what is in you is hate, that's what you're giving. And I wish people will look internally a little bit more and check themselves. And if you don't have nothing nice to say, that's simple. Move on. Move on. Let people be people. And if you're not having a peopling day, stay home. That's simple. Bye.